Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Barry, that Goat Metal Show, along with my partner Tone Joker NYC. We're along here with the man, the myth, the legend, Eddie from the Realms of Metal, and is the store owner of the Realms of Rock. All right,
What's
Eddie, how
going
you doing,
on?
brother? How's everything going?
Good, man.
Just give us an update.
Thanks for having me, man. Good to hang with you guys. Everything's
Yeah,
going
bro.
good. The store's going good. We've only been open now for like maybe 4.5 months, and the orders are steady. Like I think we had the best 2 weekends. Last weekend we had a sale. This weekend we did really well too. And the only other weekend that we did better was the Vincent Crowley merchandise launch. Other than that, like things are picking up. The orders are steady. They're getting steadier. Uh, Customers are happy, and that makes me happy, you know. So we're just gonna continue to build it and grow it and see what happens. You know, we're gonna be doing a storefront early next year. We've
Okay.
started looking at
Oh, wow.
storefronts in town, and we're making that plunge, man. We're gonna do it. So I'm excited. It's just a lot of cool stuff on the horizon.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that, Ed. I mean, like I told you during our private conversation, I said once that happens, let us know. We'll be more than happy to go over there and be there for the launch.
Yeah, man. We could do like an in-store party or a grand opening or whatever. We get the sky's the limit.
Yeah, man, we'll get Revic and the crew over there,
Great.
go and scare the locals, all that good stuff, man.
Yeah.
All right. So,
Yeah.
Tony, you have something you want to ask them? I mean, we're just trying to get, go and ask, ask them a couple of questions before we start getting busy.
All right. My one question I have to ask you about your store. What made you go into the business of to go online to do a store?
I've always wanted to open my own record store. I think it's the coolest job ever. You get to hang out and listen to tunes all day, hang
Hmm.
out with metalheads all day. And it was always kind of a pipe dream of mine. And then, like, this past year or so, year and a half, year or so, getting together with guys like you guys, with everybody in our community, um, I felt like I just had to do something. I felt like I needed to do it. Like it would make me happy, I'm always in the pursuit of happiness, in this life,
Hmm.
So, and I didn't want to like not do it and then regret it, years later if I get too old.
Yeah.
So I had my wife's support and I just went for it. And now it's going good so far. So see what happens.
Yeah, that's good, man. And again, it's great. It's great, man. No, we are proud of you, man. Really,
Thanks, man. Thank you.
it's awesome. It's awesome to see you. You're something you've always wanted, and you're living it, and you
And
see, it's
it's not
great.
about making money, Barry. Like I'm dumping all my own money into this. So it's
Hmm.
almost like a hobby and a business at the same time. Like I'm
Yeah,
enjoying doing it. It's not like a burden. I enjoy going on sites and ordering records for the site and the whole, dealing with the customers and uh, I think it's cool as fuck and I'm just enjoying it and like I said, just gonna see how it goes and keep trying to build it.
yeah. As far as
Great.
everything
That's
that's
great.
been with your orders and stuff, it's been nothing but positive. I mean, people do appreciate the fact. I mean, you don't have to, but you do. You always add in the little extra little
But that's
things.
what
That's what I
makes
was
it.
gonna say.
That's what makes it.
A
Yeah,
plus.
and now becomes like a thing. Ooh, what's he throwing in this time? And it's like, oh look, a severed head. Yay, Ed. Like that. We're just waiting for that one to come. But that'll probably be for one of those like 200 plus orders, right? We'll get like that severed head in the mail.
I love seeing those unboxings and people send me pictures of all the shit that I threw in there for them, and it just makes me feel good. So I like doing it.
Yeah, it gives you a good rep, man. And so far you're 100%, man, and that's
Thanks.
awesome.
Appreciate that, you guys.
All right, and
Yeah.
all right, so we got a question here from a fellow YouTuber. I'm gonna play it. You're gonna know who it is. All right, here we go.
Okay, so I think I already know the answer to this question, but I want to hear it from Eddie himself. Brother Eddie, what is your
Yes.
Bay Area thrash band of all time, numero uno, number one favorite Bay Area thrash band? I know you love thrash just like me. Just narrow it down to your favorite Bay Area thrash band, okay? Whichever, we all know we like Forbidden and Violence and all that, but I think I know the answer to this again, but I'd like to hear from Brother Eddie. And as long as you're playing this on your show, I want everybody to go check out the Realms of Rock, realmsofrock.squarespace.com. Brother Eddie will hook you up. You will get a good deal. Selection, easiest website I've ever navigated, guaranteed to have some kick-ass shit. All right, laters, boys.
Yeah.
You know what? I love that guy.
Trevor is great, man.
He
He's
gives
great.
me so much support, man. He's the fucking coolest guy ever. He just got that attitude that you just want to hang with the guy, you know? He just seems like a fun guy. But to answer his question, my favorite band in the world, regardless of genre, is Exodus. Always was. I love Exodus. I love their whole discography, with the exception of maybe Force of Habit, which was kind of their, kind of mainstream record. But Exodus is 10 out of 10 for me. I love Gary Holt. I love Tom Hunting.
Yeah,
I love everything about that.
Yeah, they're great, man. It's good. It's good to see that Exodus still doing their shit live, man.
Hell yeah,
which is good, man. I to me, look, not for nothing, but going into that topic with Exodus, I like Gary Holt to just stick with just doing Exodus. I don't mind him doing Slayer and stuff, but I just feel like I would rather him take his talents and give us more Exodus music. I mean,
me too.
You know what I mean? Anyway, he's gonna be getting paid for his little because that's pretty much their little line, the thing they're doing with the shows and shit. So now it just becomes a little payday thing. But I mean, when he was in Slayer for that little bit, I was like, I wasn't really. I mean, look, I like Gary Holt. That was the whole thing. I didn't mind it, but I just felt like I said, I think he should just concentrate, just stick with Exodus.
I'm happy for Gary. I really am, and I know it's a bigger paycheck than he gets with Exodus for playing live. But like you said, I wish he did more with Exodus and spent more time with that.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw him when he was with Slayer and Exodus was still touring. Cragen from Heathen was filling in for him, and I saw Exodus a few times even without him, with Cragen filling in on guitar. So it is what it is. I want to see Gary do well. It's just I'm a fan. So
all right. Well, so all right. So look,
I like it.
I guess. Well, I'm sorry, Tone. Go ahead.
Yeah, I kind of like him to go back to Exodus. I didn't want, I don't know. I saw him with Slayer, but he didn't fit in to me.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I saw him at the Big Four.
Because Slayer now, and stuff. He needs to do his own thing and stuff. But let me ask you, what is your favorite Exodus album from all of the?
It's Bonded by Blood. How can it not be? I mean, I think everybody's favorite Exodus record is Bonded by Blood.
Yeah. I mean, and Fabulous Disaster is like one of mine.
Yeah.
I like that. I like Fabulous Disaster. I thought it was a great album.
Me too.
All right. So we'll start it off, Ed, since you're your guest here. I mean, but this just to let everybody know, we are doing our best back-to-back albums, bands back-to-back albums. So, I mean, there's tons of bands that do it. I mean, in betweens, but we're trying to do more with something, I guess, that's more relatable to us, that we feel have that lore of saying this band gave us the best back-to-back albums in our time of listening to music. So Ed, you go first, man. Give us what you have. And
when you mentioned this, Barry, I thought this was a fun topic to do. The first band that I thought of.
Oh yes.
Beneath the Remains and Arise. Like that 1-2 punch of Beneath the Remains and Arise, and they're two completely different records. They really are. They sound nothing like each other. This Beneath the Remains was almost like a death thrash record, and Arise was kind of more like a thrash record.
Yeah.
But I mean, the songwriting, the production, I think Scott Burns did both of these records.
Yeah,
man, like just sheer greatness, back to back. And like I said, first band I thought of, both of these records. I love them both. What do you guys think of them?
Yeah, I agree. That's it's funny. They were in my head to dig up, but I was like, how you're digging through stuff, and you're like, oh yeah, oh shit, then get Sepultura. But yeah, definitely those two albums there. I mean, some people could have made the case for even before Arise, not Arise, Beneath the Remains, Kind of threw Schizophrenia in there as well.
Yep.
That was part of their evolution, you know. But yeah, those two albums, because I think with Arise and Beneath the Remains, when it came out, it was just that juggernaut, that hit.
Man,
it just really put, you know, they were already like known, but that put them on the map.
Really did.
It gave them their popularity. They had a few videos, they popped up on MTV, and they started getting their name. And then when Arise came out, forget it. It went off from there. But yeah, that's a great pick, man. I agree with that 110%.
And Beneath the Remains was 89 and Arise was 91 for everybody out there.
Yeah, great fucking albums, man.
Yeah, and what I like about Sepultura is that they're the only band you could really say hit every genre. They went like from the beginning, they were more a war metal band. Then they went into thrash with the first Schizo and the rock Beneath the Remains, and then they went to Rise was like a death metal album.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And then they got into the groove after that. And so that's why they became one of the biggest bands out there. They hit every genre they needed to.
You're right about that. I never even noticed that until you just mentioned it. Like, you know, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
We were talking about Sepultura and all the genres they've covered.
Yeah. And Tone was talking about basically the fact that those guys, they did all the genres from, you know, they sounded had like a war metal sound and a black and death, and then they went into the death metal style, and you know, you just can't go wrong with that. I mean, it was just the fact that they were able to tackle everything. The only thing they didn't really do was glam.
Yeah.
Thank God for that.
Because they wouldn't look good in spandex and makeup.
Oh man, I mean, you know, hey, look, we could make the case that after the Cavalera brothers left, they kind of went a little bit on that side. But anyway, that's just me.
Do you like the post era without the brothers, Ed?
I don't know. Not that I dislike it. I just don't listen to it. I'm sure I could get into it if I really listen to the records, but it doesn't interest me. Like, there's nothing that makes me want to listen to it because the fucking Cavaleras are where it's at.
Because they're the originators of that band.
I know.
I agree. All right, Tone, what you got, man?
All right, so we start off with some old school stuff. My first two will be my all-time favorite metal band.
Yes.
Sabbath. Black Sabbath and Paranoid are my two big picks, back to back. When I was a kid, this was the first metal band that I ever heard. I heard Paranoid first before the original album, but when I heard Iron Man, that shit blew me away. And me and my cousin at the time were into wrestling, and seeing the Road Warriors come to the ring, that was another thing. And then when I finally sat down and heard this whole album, it's like nothing you ever heard. The fucking heaviness, sound, and what you call, and Ozzy's vocals. Yeah, it was like what you call, like a mini horror story that was being told. So this has always been, I love Black Sabbath from the beginning. Even with Dio, when he took over, they were still good. After that, really didn't care after the Dio thing. And 13 was okay album when Ozzy came back, but
it wasn't bad.
Yeah,
this is my first choice. These back to back were bangers.
Great choice. Great choices.
Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with the originators, right?
That's my opinion. They are the originators of metal.
Yeah, I mean, people are always going to have that debate. There's plenty of debate about it. I mean, look, if you go down, to me, they were the ones who created the style as we see it, as far as the way metal is played now. I mean, but everybody else was doing certain things before them. I mean, you had Zeppelin, you had whoever else before them doing stuff. Even back in the 50s, like Chuck Berry's and stuff like that, doing the rock. It's like they were doing stuff that was like everybody was already taking pieces of it, but Black Sabbath orchestrated it to what we have today. So
that doom sound, there was nobody doing that.
Yeah.
There was nobody, and stuff. That made them legends.
All right, man. All right.
All right, there you're next.
Okay. All right. So let me go on with one of the bands that pretty much entered my metal heart in the beginning. And I'm going with these two albums right here with Manowar, Fighting the World, and Kings of Metal.
Great
right?
ones.
And people could just, I mean, they have some great albums and stuff, but I feel like when they did Fighting the World, this was when they went into that the more they were already like trying to have that epic sound, but this was like straight, like they had stories. They already had a style that they were going with Manowar. This to me, this was what Manowar was already going to sound like, and then they just went and they did this one and just forget it. This to me, this is a perfect album for them. Their best album to me. That's just me. Fucking love this fucking album front to back, and stays true to my heart, man. Ever since I heard it, from Wheels of Fire all the way to Blood of the Kings, to me, no, nothing could duplicate that fucking album. But yep, that's old school, man. Manowar.
Yeah, you know something that when Bear was rooming, he was my roommate. Forget it. He was killing me with that. Every day he was putting on Manowar. Stand in front of the mirror.
Was he wearing a loincloth?
And baby oil. I had to put the baby oil on. We didn't have swords, so I had to go to the kitchen and get the spatula and the spoons and shit, and be in the front clanging.
I could picture like Barry sitting on the floor, say, "Tone, what is best in life?"
Yeah, what's best in life? Yeah. I'm like, "Oh, Bear, I'm leaving."
Tone was, like he, we had separate rooms, so he was like, I was throwing fucking flaming arrows at his side of the. Yeah, we were going to battles. Yeah, that's right. It was looking like the way it is back here, right there. See, on the horse. Yeah, that's the way it was in the Bronx. Oh man, it was some great times, man. Fucking Manowar, man. I love those guys.
But I love Fighting the World. That's my favorite. I think that's a great record.
Yeah, man. I just Carry On, and it's just man.
Black Wind, Fire, and Steel is worth the price of that record alone.
Yeah, man. Yeah, those two albums. I mean, literally, they give you the hindsight of watching a Conan movie,
yes,
or watching one of those types of movies back, from the 80s. Any of those cool barbarian movies in the 80s. That's what it gave you. It was just so fucking good so good to. It gave you, that's one thing about when you listen to good music like that. When it gives you a story, it gives you an imagination. Where you could just while you're listening to it, you're already imagining what the scene looks like.
Yep.
And that's what I enjoy about that. I really do.
Good stuff.
Yeah, man. All right.
I was never a big fan of theirs, but there's albums here and there that I did enjoy, and stuff that when Barry was playing it at the house that I was like, oh yeah, okay, I can go with that.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of like, like
they write these anthems, like they play to thousands and thousands of people in Europe. Like a track like Warriors of the World United, like it's just so amazing. Some of the stuff they've written, like crazy.
That's right, bro. The Hammer.
Yep.
All right, Ed, but let's get your number 2.
All right, let's go to number 2. This was actually the second band I thought of. I don't know if they're on your list, Barry. I don't know if they're on yours, Tones, but they are. I'm sorry. That's the first two records.
Yeah, absolutely.
Self-titled and Legion. 1990, 1992. 2 perfect records, really. And 2 completely different records. They sound nothing like each other.
Nope.
Like you would at least thought that Legion would remind you of some of the stuff on the self-titled, but it doesn't. Like there's nothing that reminds me of the self-titled on Legion at all. They're completely different records in their own right, and they're both amazing. I don't know. How do you guys feel about those 2 records?
I mean, as far as I go, I enjoyed. I mean, to me, the first 3 are great. That to me, if we did 3 back-to-backs, I would have threw in Once Upon a Cross in there with that, because to me, those are like that's it. Those 3 albums are fucking, great. But yeah, you're right about that. They basically just, they're different albums. I mean, when they did Once Upon a Cross, you could hear that he blended pretty much, like both albums got blended into that album, and gave it. Once Upon a Cross is my favorite album. So out of the discography, I love Once Upon a Cross.
Shit, man. I love the original.
Yeah, no, I like the original's great, but I think Once Upon a Cross to me just has, I don't know, it's just something about it. I don't know. It's just like when I hear that album, besides the original, because the original just had, it was that thing when you first heard Deicide for the first time, gave you that shock value, like, oh shit, yo, this motherfucker's a true Satan. Holy shit, he's singing all this stuff. But when he did Once Upon a Cross, it just, he was diving into a lot of the things in between and just giving it more of a punch. And that thing with the freaking the freaking priests, he touched a lot of topics in that album. The priests, molesting the kids, and a bunch of other stuff in there, and my favorite, the fucking self-titled Once Upon a Cross. I mean, again, I go to you hear the song, you hear the lyrics, you imagine everything. I imagine all that shit that he was saying in that fucking, just, Jesus bleeding on the cross, and loved it. I fucking love that album.
Yeah. But the thing that killed me for the original, if you remember, Bear, when we first got the compilation, what you call at Death's Door, mm-hmm. Yeah, there was no other bands that sound. When you got that Dead to Dawn came on, it was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
It's like, this dude is like, this band is
100
miles per hour. The vocals is nothing like no other death metal band is doing. And that's what won me over. I said, I gotta find this album.
Yeah, I think though at Death's Door, when that compilation came out before the album even came out, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. That's what I remember. That we couldn't even find it. I ended up buying it at Bleecker. I was gonna say Bleecker Slavs, but it's Bleecker Bobs.
We used to call it Bleecker Slavs.
Yeah, because he used to have a mess in that store. Yeah, you're not gonna be like that with your store, right? It's gonna be nice and organized.
Yeah, we can't be having that thing with just things all over the place, hippies hanging out on the side, and smelly people. No, we can't have that, man. Yeah, we gotta have some good times. Gonna have some good times. All right, Tone, what you have, man?
All right, next I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go to Australia with a band called, I don't know if you ever heard of this, Werewolf.
No.
They're across like from black metal with war, have war elements into it.
Mm-hmm.
This band is just, when I heard this, because I'm big into the structure 666, Destroyer 666, and when I heard that they said there was a band that was a little faster and more crazier than them, I winded up getting these two, and forget it. These two albums are killers. So if you're in that kind of a vein of what you call Destroyer 666, definitely check this out.
I'm gonna check them out.
Yeah, and stuff. Their first album is what you call. Wait, I think it was from the cave to the, what the fuck was it? I can't even see the other name. Oh, from the cave to the grave, and then the other album was a time to be alive.
Are those the first two?
Yeah, the first two of this band.
Okay.
Tone, isn't that the band? I don't know if I think I did a review about them. I think it's them. They're the ones that are doing an album every year.
Yeah, for 10 years.
Yes, yes, yeah. I did it because what happened was one of those PR companies sent me the last album they did to review, and I read the whole thing, the synopsis on what the hell's going on. They're doing an album every year for 10 years.
And it's supposed to be faster and more brutal every year.
No kidding.
And all they talk about is fucking killings and you'll like it.
I gotta check it out. I will.
Yeah. It's a good band. They're real good. I mean, the fact that they're that dedicated for that they got a 10-year thing every year. They're writing new music to make sure that the album comes out every year at the same time.
Yeah, I heard that they're killer live. Never got to see them live. Hopefully they'll come to New York one day.
Yeah,
but from Australia, it's a real good band.
Yeah, man, a lot of good stuff coming out of Australia, man, which is good.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to me now, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, of course, so we're going to go with the classics over here again. Everybody knows, everybody talks about Slayer, but to me, these are the best back-to-backs. Hell Awaits and Rain and Blood. I mean, you know, it's just like when when these albums came out, it was like, when Hell Awaits came out, you were like, oh shit, because they evolved from Show No Mercy and Haunting the Chapel. They started evolving, and Hell Awaits was like, oh shit. Then Rain and Blood was just more of like, oh, wow. To me, a lot of people have their debates on the best thrash album ever. I still say it's Rain and Blood, because front to back is just, Master Puppets, I think, comes in the second, and wherever else as far as the history that we have for thrash. But you know how I am too. And Toe knows this, that whenever we sit down and we look at a band's albums, we'll say what's their Rain and Blood, and that's the reason why I say that, because it's the best fucking album that they made. But yeah, I mean, look, Slayer, they after that, they did South of Heaven and
those first 5 Slayers, you could pick any 2 of those in any order and be absolutely 100% right.
Yeah.
No matter what you pick, so.
Yeah. Then of course, they get to the 90s, and that's when everything just started going a little, away with their style and stuff. But I mean, they sounded okay, except for that Diabolus Musica shit.
Every band went through that in the 90s, just about.
But
at least thrash bands.
Yeah, but Slayer's the only one that kept true to the thrash, because most of the other thrash bands then went into that little, let's make a slow song ballad kind of shit. And Slayer never went that route. You had Death Angel, and they wanted to sing about windows and all that shit. and I was like, no, I wasn't feeling none of that stuff.
Oh, I'll never forget what he said. What the fuck are they talking about windows for?
You talking about a room with a view? Is that?
Yeah, that's the one.
Me and Bear put the album on. I hear this thing. I'm like, Bear, what the fuck happened? Did you change the album?
Yeah, because remember in that was in Act 3. That was
Act 3.
Yep. So you got that first title track, Seamlessly Endless Time.
Amazing.
Great fucking song. I remember the video came out.
Yeah.
We were hyped. We're like, yeah, we got to get this album. Yeah. We throw it on. We hear Secrets Anytime. And we get to a room with a view. We're like, what the fuck just happened?
Like, kept on going, maybe it's 45. Maybe a little faster. The thing's broken.
Oh, shit. Yeah, that was the 90s. It gave us a lot of those moments. It really did.
People blame Metallica for it, but I don't know.
I think you have to, right? What was the first thrash metal ballad? Was it Fade to Black?
Yeah, I guess so. That's
a debate we had on my channel months ago. What was the first thrash metal ballad? And the earliest one I could think of was Fade to Black. I mean, you guys could think of something else.
It probably is Fade to Black. I mean, considering the way it was done, that but it mixed in, that slow and heaviness at the same time, had a meaning to it.
Yeah.
But
I say that one was the first, because Fade to Black was still fast. It's like Megadeth's in my darkest hour. He starts it all slow, and then he kicks into then he just all out kicking and punching all over the place. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's that. You know what? That's something where I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing to talk about. We start getting depressed when we hear shit like that.
Yeah, bro.
Man, your freaking tone just gave me PTSD for when I first bought that Death Angel album. Never got that shit, man. Damn.
Yeah, man. I was like, the speed or something was wrong there.
Oh man. All right, Ed, what you got next, man?
Let's see what we got. I'm gonna pick something a little different here, I think. Let me see what I got here. I could have included the first one, but I went with 2 and 3. I went with Danzig 2, Lucifuge.
Oh, nice.
Danzig 3, How the Gods Kill. 2 perfect records. I love both of these records more than the first one, although the first one is still really good too. But I think it's just sheer brilliance back to back on both of these. Like, this is Danzig at the top of their game. I saw Danzig on this tour, Danzig 3. They opened up for Metallica, for Christ's sakes, and they were amazing. Like, just off the charts good. Both of those records are very special to me.
Yeah, they're great, man. I mean, the first three is always going to be top of my list with Danzig. I mean, me and Tone and Rich, we got to see them in the Ritz, right? We didn't.
Yeah, at the Ritz.
It was with it was for the How the Gods Kill, or was for the second one?
No, it's the second album because I never went to see the When They Gods Killed.
Yeah, because if I'm not who it was, who opened up for them? It was what was it? Morbid Angel and Agnostic Front. Was that the show we went to?
You know what? I'm gonna have to ask Rich to look into the books of
the archives.
The archives. I don't remember. I just knew it was at the Ritz.
Yeah, now imagine that. But it was I think it was Agnostic Front and Morbid Angel, if I'm not mistaken.
It could have been because there was a lot of tours coming like that but remember, we were going to a lot of shows. We were at least going to like 4 shows a week.
Wow. Yeah, a lot of shows.
Remember what band was with who? Forget it.
Yeah, that's why we got to go look back at the old scrapbook, see what the hell was there, man, at that time.
Yeah.
And then reminisce. But yeah, Danzig, yeah, I mean, I think, I don't know. I mean, the last few things he did recently, I mean, he's doing stuff now with the Misfits again, just playing. But I wasn't really too much of a fan of the last few things that he did.
Me neither.
I think he was trying to go more of that Southern rock style, sound.
You know what? I never realized how old he actually was. That dude is 71 years old, for Christ's sake.
He's already in the 70s?
Yes.
Get the fuck out of here. I thought he was I thought mid-60s. I thought he was like Bruce Dickinson.
That's what I thought. He's like 71, Barry.
Holy
wow.
Shit. Damn, man. He's still there trying to wear those damn fucking box gloves that he's on stage with, thinking that he's gonna kick somebody's ass.
I was like, wait, somebody told me that. Well, he can't be that old. And I went and looked it up, and he was like, holy shit.
Wow.
Did any of you guys ever got to see that vampire movie he did?
Erotica?
Yeah.
It's terrible.
It was terrible, right?
I only seen that little piece he did in Prophecy 2 where he was one of the angels. That small scene. That's it. That's the only thing that I remember seeing of him, that he came up in the movie.
Yeah. Erotica was not good. I mean, watch it. You guys, make your own judgment on it, but I thought it was boring and awful. So
yeah. He's no Ron Zombie. He's no Ron Zombie director.
Oh, he directed the movie?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
There was this like dancer, and she took her top off, and her she had 2 eyeballs like for her areolas.
I remember that. Yeah. And that was the best part of the movie.
Right? Yeah, it's the only part I can remember.
Oh my goodness, man! Man, it's just all right. Musicians, I get they all have this dream of doing some type of movie, man. But yeah, look, Rob Zombie got his. Leave it to Rob Zombie. Don't nobody. That's it.
You can't. You know who did a movie that was pretty good was Dan Filth from Cradle of Filth.
Yeah, he did.
It was pretty good.
Yeah, he did. It was like one of those little. It wasn't even a long. It was like 45-minute movie he did that came.
Yeah, about an hour. Yeah. I can't remember the name. Was it Slave to the Grave? It's something like that. I forgot.
I just remember the cover having those 2 demon eyes.
Yeah.
I got the DVD. I do have it there. I have it.
You never seen it, Ed?
Huh?
Never saw it. No.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's pretty good. It's got like it has very practical effects. When I say very practical, you'll know it's practical.
All right.
But as far as the way the execution of it, it's pretty good.
All right.
It wasn't bad for its time when it came out, and it was like
it
was already getting their little name going. It was a fun watch. I mean, you might.
Well, he was before Ron Zombie started directing, so they got to give him for that.
Yeah, that's true.
It's true. So, all right. So I'm next.
Yes, sir.
All right. Next will be, let's go into the black metal. Here, start off with my the one that got it all started for me.
Oh yeah.
Bro, I mean, not bro. What you call Blade in the Northern Sky and Under a Funeral Moon. This is when they first started doing real black metal, because before this was this is not their first albums, because they had the death metal albums.
That first one was a death metal record they released.
Yeah.
Right?
Then this is when they went. Everybody considers this their first albums because of the black metal. but this is their first real black metal albums. These two albums were just, bro, the way they recorded it was nothing like even though the death metal album is good. A lot of people sleep on it, but it's a good album. But these two, bro, this started the way for me for black metal and stuff. Both albums, killer. The vocals, the songs, and the way they recorded it, A+ for me.
I just sold somebody the newest Darkthrone record. I actually sold it to him in person, right? I didn't realize, we got talking about Darkthrone, who I'm not super familiar with. I didn't realize, Tone, how many full lengths they actually had. Like, holy shit, their discography is huge. I think they got like 28 full lengths.
They're in the same pace as Werewolf. They come out with one album a year.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's one album a year, but I don't bother with it because you don't know what you're going to get with them.
Yeah.
Sometimes it has some elements of black metal. Sometimes he's paganism. I don't know what. Sometimes it depends how he gets up and they start writing. That's what I say. But you'll never catch him on tour.
They don't tour?
Huh?
They don't tour?
They don't tour at all.
Uh-huh.
They say they make enough money with selling the records, and that's all. They won't tour. I heard that they had offered them like almost $1 million to go to Wacken Festival, and they turned it down.
Holy shit!
Oh wow!
Yeah,
that would be, because then that would be worth the trip for people to go. Saying that they never do shows, that would be worth it.
Yeah, so they don't perform live.
Crazy.
Wow. Yeah. That would have been interesting, man. Shit, I think that's something that they before those guys decide to call it a career, I'm sure they're gonna have to try to do something.
You know what? I would say yes, but honestly, when you hear him talk and the way some of the interviews I've catch on, that I see on YouTube or read in magazines, this dude really does not want to leave his apartment. I don't think. This dude's like, he always says, I just go down the block and get money from an ATM and buy what he wants and comes back home. So he ain't looking like leaving Norway. Oh. And you got to remember something. We already know the story behind all the crimes and shit that was committed. We don't know if these guys are going to have problems getting visas to travel. That could be another issue for them to go on tour. Because not every country is going to accept them. Definitely here in the United States, they'll have trouble getting in.
Yep, that's true.
That's true. So that could be another reason why they don't want to tour.
All right.
All right, Bear, you're next.
Okay. All right, go here with another old school originals here of death metal. Okay. Morbid Angels, Altars of Madness, and then Blessed Are the Sick. I mean, I don't know. I mean, what can you say? You can't say nothing bad about these. These just, they came at you back to back with fire. Awesome. And of course, as you can see, they have these little holes. These are original promos. I got original copies here. No remasters here, man. Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, look. Morbid Angel is just been a fixture as far as death metal goes. I mean, you hear Morbid Angel, you got to give them their respect when it comes to being one of the originals of the early death metal movement. And those two albums, I even like, and then of course you got the third one. Was it Covenant?
Covenant, yeah.
Covenant is the I like Covenant. I thought it was a good album. I
like it too.
I mean, it doesn't compare to the first two, but I like it. Then Domination was, that you could see that it was starting to, and then, David Vincent.
A stupid question. What was the last album Vincent was the vocalist?
That crappy one they did. What was Ed, what's the name of it?
It was like Elude Divinis Insanus or some shit like that. That was the one where they did that techno shit on it. Like,
I remember now. Yeah.
That was so bad. So bad. It was. You know when it's bad? It's bad when you even have regular media people who don't even listen to metal saying it's bad.
Yeah,
they don't even bother with death metal stuff. They don't. They started fucking. That's how terrible that is.
Yeah,
everybody universally hates that album.
I can't believe they even put that out. Honestly, I mean, it's embarrassing.
I don't even know how the record label allowed them to put it out. They really thought they were going to make money with that.
Yeah, I don't know who released it. Relapse.
No, wasn't there ear? They were still on Earache at the time.
No, I forgot who, because I don't know who they're with now.
I don't remember who
It's
released
I think it's whoever's with them now because.
Yo, Bear. You know what's another thing you got to that? I got to make
yes, the demo.
The demo is fucking fire.
Yeah. That's when everything just went in full strength from there. I mean, because they came out that album came out was '89, right? It came out in '89. It was in that time, Dumb, Obituary, and everybody else. So
that was a golden age. Pestilence, all those bands came out.
And don't forget about Abominations of Desolation. It was supposed to be the first Morbid Angel. I think that was supposed to come out in like '87.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
But wasn't that basically taken from the demo itself? No, right?
The release got delayed, and then whatever happened, and they end up doing Altars of Madness instead. But they took a lot of the stuff that was on Abominations and put them on Altars of Madness. So,
and they toned down the vocals too, because if you listen to the demo that I have, his vocals are entirely different from what he does on the album, and the riffs are much more brutal on the demo.
Yeah,
so I would have liked that album to come out. It would have been nice.
Yeah, and Abominations sounds a lot rawer than Altars of Madness does.
Some people even think of it as almost borderline black metal too.
Yeah, that's because I think a lot of the black metal bands gave their influence to the demo and to Abominations too as well.
Yeah,
it's cool. But yeah, man. I mean, look, when it comes to that, as like, the history with Morbid Angel going through. I mean, look, all you got to do is just give them their respect for what they did, and it's still great out. They still hold, if it can still hold up to this day, that's what counts to me.
Yep.
So,
Absolutely.
all right, Ed, let's go, man. What you got?
So we got answer here. Oh shit.
Yeah, they got that room hooked up, man. That's nice.
I'm telling you, man. We're gonna send Scar to go over there and check out that place, man. We're gonna go over there and invade.
I'm gonna go with these two brothers. I'm gonna go with Merciful Fate, Melissa, and Don't Break the Oath.
Oh, nice, man.
Oh, Don't Break the Oath is classic.
2 timeless records for me. I was late. I mean, when I got into metal, I probably got into King Diamond first. And that led me, of course, to Merciful Fate. And then I, went back and but this stuff is just, legendary, these 2 records. I mean, geez. Evil, Curse of the Pharaohs, Into the Coven. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, just amazing on this record, on both of these. So Melissa was 83 and Don't Break the Oath was 84.
Nice. And if I'm not mistaken, that's like only I don't know if it was Melissa that was I think one of the albums that were blessed by Anton LaVey.
Was it really?
I think. Yeah. Well, Anton LaVey, and Vincent could tell you. Remember the same thing. It was just a few bands that I think he would give his blessing to.
Yeah.
And I think it was that one. I could be wrong. I guess we'll talk to Vincent one day. We'll get the gist of it. Now maybe I'm. But I think it was one of the Merciful Fate albums.
And these lyrics were probably the most satanic lyrics I heard up to that point, until the first Deicide record. But
oh shit.
Well, yeah, and then of course you have Venom and all that other stuff in there. Everybody was
Venom.
Everybody was trying to upstage each other.
I didn't get into Venom and Bathory until the mid '90s, honestly, because I just was late to the Venom and Bathory party. So.
I always liked Bathory way better than Venom, but Venom sold it better. That was the thing. Venom was a better seller on that's why people always sigh on their side.
Yep, still a fan with them. Yeah, I love them.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Tone, what you got?
I thought it was me. Oh, okay. Yeah. Let's go. All right, let's have some fun here. Here's what got me into death metal. Death himself.
Hell yeah.
Yep. With Lepers.
I was there. Yeah, I was definitely that was gonna be one of my polls, man. Good.
Now, I know Bear prefers Leprosy and Spiritual Healing, but what you call Scream Bloody Gore.
Yeah.
First time I heard this was when I was in high school. A guy came up to me and he says, "You want to hear something crazy?" And he put it on his Walkman. And I was like, "What the fuck is that?" He says, "Death." Death. I said, "Bro, it sounds like somebody's dying, man." Yeah. It's so these were definitely the two albums. I don't know. Some people get mad at me by saying it, but after Spiritual Healing, I really don't care for the.
You don't? No.
And a lot of people is always like my cousin likes some of the stuff after Spiritual Healing. I'm like, I can't get into it. It's just lost his rawness. After that, he got he's gifted technically, and Chuck was great with the what you call the music he put out, but it wasn't death to me.
Oh, he got very progressive towards the end.
Yeah. Even to the point where he was starting to wear, I don't want to say the word glam, but shirts were proper to perform with. They were kind of silky kind of shirts.
Yeah, we're gonna have. You know what, Ed? What you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to get those silky shirts and put Kai on the band, so Paul could wear those on when he's doing his thing. Paul's gonna have to wear those silky shirts. You would sell out. Oh man! All right.
What you got, man?
All right. Okay. One of my all-time favorite death metal bands, and to me one of the greatest intros that they have for their first two albums. Okay, Malevolent Creation's 10 Commandments, right? And Retribution.
Oh.
Right. I look at this. I say it. People could say whatever. I say it's the best made death metal album out there, front to back. I'd say this is their Reign in Blood of death metal.
Can't argue with that. They're brilliant records. Yeah. Retribution is amazing.
It's from everything. Every corner of the guys playing their music is fucking perfect. Lyrically perfect. Everything is perfect for this album. And it's a shame. Brett Hoffman, rest in peace. Now, here's the thing. I did this also on purpose. I want to show you guys. Remember, Tone, we were talking about this in one of our videos. Mm-hmm. This was the one I picked up at Sounds. I remember I told you I had the cassette, and I went, I bought the CDs. I paid, I think, like $6 for it or whatever it was, right? So I buy the CD. I never opened this. Never opened it because why? I already had the tape. I don't need to look at the lyrics. I already know what it looks like inside. Like a couple of years ago, I took it out and I started looking through, and look, there's freaking autographs here of the band.
No shit.
Oh yeah, I remember, Bear, when you were telling me that.
Yeah, so Brett Hoffman. It says "Eat My Ass" and some other. They just do. There's some Ice Cream Man joke here. It was just bugged out. So I'm looking at. I'm like, holy shit. So whoever owned this, I guess guy took a pen and the guys autographed the CD. Probably, who knows? And I'm like, I don't know if I should ever, if I ever get super broke, maybe to put this on, I don't know. But it's with me right now. But I thought it was crazy. I mean, it was crazy. I'm telling you, I know when Sounds was still open. I remember buying the fucking CD and I never opened it. Never. So we're talking about like what? Maybe close to 20 years that has been sitting in my collection. I have never opened this up. And then I just one day look in there and I'm like, holy shit, this thing had freaking autographs in it.
Let me throw this at you guys. This is something, when I see the 10 Commandments there, it reminds me of Eaten Back to Life. That first Cannibal Corpse record almost had like a thrash sensibility to it. I mean, it's a death metal record. I feel the same way about the 10 Commandments. I think it's a death metal record, but it reminds me of Eaten Back to Life, that it's got some thrashy stuff here or there on it. I mean, what do you guys think?
Well, here's the thing.
Right. It has a lot of thrash, but
here's the thing. Remember, when both those albums came out, where were they living at?
Buffalo.
Oh, yeah.
So there you go. They all had that I guess that Buffalo, whatever scene was for that little bit of time in Buffalo.
100%, Barry.
What you had up there. And
that's why when people tell me that both bands are from Florida, I tell them you're crazy. They're not.
No.
Yeah. They're both from Florida. They left to Florida to record and got mixed up in all those other death metal bands that were down there when that was the movement. But they're from New York. Buffalo, both of them, and both of
I
them.
mean, the argument could have been made for Glenn Benton too, because I think Glenn Benton was living in Buffalo before he did Deicide, way before he did Deicide. Then he moved to Florida, but but they were the ones who established themselves as a band, Buffalo. So, I mean, that's why when you were right on that, Ed. It was perfectly well said because you think about it, like, yeah, they both had like that similar sound.
To me, it always rung out that way. So I just wanted to get your guys' opinion.
Yep, just call it the Buffalo sound. It's most definitely the Buffalo sound, but it's a shame because you think about what kind of scene they had back then when those bands first came out, man. I remember looking at the Cannibal Corpse documentary. Do you have that DVD? The one what's it called?
The 2-hour one?
Yeah, 20 years of whatever it's called.
Mm-hmm.
And they focus a lot on the scene they had up in Buffalo. And they had a lot of good bands up there, some good thrash bands that came out of there, but I guess that never made it out, And Cannibal Corpse and Malevolent just made their due diligence to run down to Florida, and they decided to just stay. And there you go. Because I think they only, what was it? It was just, the Malevolent, it was just the first album, right? After they did the first album, that's when they moved. Cannibal did the first 2 albums still living in Buffalo. Then before they did Tomb of the Mutilated, that's when they moved on it, right?
I think you're right.
Right? Yeah, so there you go. Yeah. That's a shame. Rest in peace, Buffalo scene.
It was too cold for them. They love that Florida sunshine.
Yeah.
And two, you got Scott Byrne down there. That's the reason why everybody went down there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Scott Byrne wasn't up in Buffalo. If he was in Buffalo, then all those bands from Florida would have came up to Buffalo.
Yeah, I think aren't they supposed to be doing another documentary about Morrisound Studios?
I haven't heard.
I heard more. They said a book came out about.
There's a book, but I thought they were doing some type of documentary too. Oh well, if it is, whatever. But I would like to get the book. The book should be interesting.
Yeah, he told me the book was good.
All right, Ed, what you got, man? What you got next?
All right, I'm going to throw out my favorite band. Go back to Trevor's question here. Now, my favorite record is obviously Bonded by Blood, but Pleasures of the Flesh is not one of my favorites. So I went with Fabulous Disaster.
Oh, I love that.
Is Imminent. Impact is Imminent. It's not one of an Exodus fan's favorite records, but to me, it's one of my favorites. I think it's such an underrated thrash record. I think it's edgy as fuck. I think this one is severely, underappreciated. I really do.
I agree.
And I love this just as much as Fabulous Disaster. I really do. Yeah. And Impact is Imminent. I mean, I think Gary Holt said that was probably his favorite riff he ever wrote. The riff to Impact is Imminent. It's so aggressive.
Yeah, it is.
The guitar tone on this will cut you like a fucking razor. I'm serious. It's so good. So I'm going Fabulous and Impact.
Yeah, the music, the vocals, everything it's pure thrash. Those albums are pure thrash.
Yep.
Ain't no freaking whiny ballads in those albums.
Definitely not.
Kicks you right in the jaw, man.
Yep.
Yeah, I love both those albums.
Yeah, man, great choices there, man. Great fucking choices. I mean, it's good to hear that they're still playing, but it gets to the realization that most of our favorite bands are already getting too old, and it's like, damn, man. I seen like that. I can't even stomach to watch the Slayer footage from the reunion shows. I honestly, I watched 1 or 2 songs and I'm like, it just, it's like, I don't know. I don't think I could enjoy myself watching them live now.
I haven't watched them, Barry. Does it look like guys just playing for a paycheck?
It does.
Does it really?
It does.
Ed is right on that. I was going to say that before. I feel like Slayer is not a band anymore. It's just a band of people that go there just to perform, to pick up a check.
That's exactly why I said that, Tone.
Yeah.
Because they're not together. They're not writing music, so it's really just kind of a cash grab to sell tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't. I mean, I saw them when they did the farewell tour at Jones Beach, and it was a good show. They put on a really good show. I enjoyed it because it was like what we all thought was our Slayer. That's it. No more Slayer. But then they did the reunion. I'm looking at it. I'm like, I saw a couple of them. I'm like, you can see Tom is not really into it. He definitely is not into it. his wife got a gun to his head, man. Get that money. Get the hell out the house and give me
And I
money.
hear none of those guys communicate. Like it's not like Tom talks to Kerry daily. Like they barely ever speak, from what I hear.
Nah,
So I
yeah.
don't know how you could. I don't
You're
know how
not-
you could continue like that. You know.
Yeah, you're not a band. It's a business.
I mean,
You're like every 6 months they'll call him and he'll be like, okay, they want us to perform. Are you ready? Okay, they'll show up, separate planes,
Yeah.
separate rooms.
Yep.
Okay, what's going on? You remember? Yeah. Okay, I know what I got to do. Just do your part. And we'll go up. Everybody will scream. Then they'll leave, and they'll never see each other until another 6 months from now.
You're right. You're
Yeah,
right.
that's not a band.
it's a shame because you got a bands who do either reunions or festivals. I'll give it let's give a band out of the sky blue, like the Scorpions. All right, Scorpions usually play those festivals, right? They've been broke. They're not a regular band. They just show up for the festivals, but they put a performance. They actually play, even though they're there for their paycheck, but they give a performance. Those old dudes still give a good performance. I'm watching Slayer now. I'm like, oh man, it just breaks my heart to see that, man.
That's exactly why I didn't watch that footage. I just didn't want to. I figured that's what it was going to be, so I was just like, you know what? I'm not even going to bother.
It's just, yeah. I saw it because I remember somebody sent it to me. Oh, look, Slayer, or the first show they had, and I think it was in Chicago.
Yep.
And I saw the footage, and I was there like just looking at it. It's like you could just see it. You can see Carrie still doing his thing. Because it's Carrie being Carrie. But Tom Araya, when you see Tom Araya, you can just see him. He's just there, like I know he can't move his neck, he can't headbang, he can't do none of that shit. But it's just not the same. It doesn't look good. And I know if you interview people in that audience, they'll tell you the same thing.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, the hell with them. Let's continue. The hell with
All right. Oh, all right. What we got next?
It was Ed, then comes me now, right?
Sure.
All right. Well, I'm sticking with the death metal. What you call the glory days of death metal, but leaving the United States for this one.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to England.
Oh,
yes. Cancer.
I love Death Shall Rise, Tone. That's a great record.
And so, both these albums are classics.
Yeah.
When I heard them first on a compilation, but I can't remember what the compilation was they were on. But then I had to get the albums, especially this cover.
Yeah.
Some people don't want to run and buy this right off the bat when you see this. So yeah, this band was one band that I wish they would have got a little bigger, but
yeah,
they were big enough, but not as big as Death, Obituary, and all of that.
Hung, Drawn, and Quartered is worth the price of that one alone.
Yeah.
Glenn Benton, I think, does backing vocals on that.
Yep.
Yeah, and stuff and things. So I was happy to get my hands on these two albums and stuff. But yeah, that's my pick.
Yeah, I got to see them. I got to see them live. They opened up with Deicide in L'Amour's. And we were hoping that Glenn Benton was gonna come out. He didn't do shit. I was like, God damn it! So but they did a good. It was a good show, man. I mean, no, I didn't go. Tony, you didn't go to that, did you?
Nah, I'm gonna see them for the first time. It's sad that I never got to see them.
Yeah.
At Maryland Death Fest this year.
Oh, okay.
Next year. They're the pre-show. I think they're headlining the show. So I'm psyched to go see that.
Cool, man. I mean, yeah, because the first couple of albums are pretty good. Then you see they kind of like try to get into a progression style later on. Like it was like it started falling back a little bit. Like we're trying to be a little bit more musical than anything. And look, there's nothing wrong with bands wanting to be more in the progressive aspect of writing good music with the death metal. I mean, the one band that I could say that did that shit very well and still kept it with the brutalness of their music was Disincarnate. I don't know if you remember Disincarnate.
Dreams of the Carrying Kind.
Yes, that fucking album. It's James Murphy's in there, and that is a technical album, but it still has that brutalness in it. You can still feel that it still has a heaviness and a brutalness. The lyrics are still heavy as fuck. Like I said, I don't have an issue with technical being in death metal. It's just that when you start watering down everything about the music, then it's like, what's the point of even doing death metal vocals?
Yeah, It's
You know?
true.
So I mean, people have a misconception about people who are into death metal getting mad at technical death metal and stuff. Say, look, it's not about, it's just what they do with the music, especially when they progress. Nothing wrong with progressing. Just keep it brutal, man. You can still fucking play great music.
Well, Bear, looking for example, one band that me and Rich saw last year, and they still kick ass. Atheist. Atheist added that jazz elements to their music, but they didn't overuse it, that it killed the heaviness and the brutality of their music. And they're technical as well. Yeah. And that night when we saw them over in Maryland, they stole the show. Everybody was going on for them. And you know, you can add elements to you know, beef up your music, make it better. But there's some bands that overdo it. They're gonna like, okay, we're gonna add this, and they forget what made them big, and then they tend to use too much of the new shit, and that's why people tend to turn on them. You can add here and there because you have to progress a little. You can't continue doing the same sound over and over again. Yeah. But yeah, that Atheist is one of those bands that I always had respect for. They're good.
Yeah, a band like Atheist or like Cynic, like the stuff that they put out.
Yeah, Cynic is like, they all
to play these live shows, they got to be on the top of their game every fucking night because that's how technical and precise they have to be with some of their songs. And like those two bands in particular, they fucking kill it.
Yeah, they kill.
They're all from the same area in Florida. I think they all like pretty much know each other, so they're all in that same circle.
Yeah.
Yeah, good fucking bands, man. I mean, but that's just my thing. I mean, look, there's nothing wrong with progression. Everybody progresses. Just, you know, don't progress to the point where you just like it sounds nothing like what you started with. You know, that's how you eliminate the fans, or you start, you know,
alienate them, right? Yeah.
You don't want to do that. You don't want to.
Death. That's why I don't like After Spiritual Healing. They became something they were not. They went too deep into the progressive.
I mean, well, to Chuck's credit, even though he was already doing that stuff with making it very technical, he was already making it clear what direction he wanted to go anyway. So it's not
denied.
Yeah, so it wasn't like the bands that are progressing and they swear they're like the same band they were as when they started. So I that's why with Chuck, I can't really get too mad at him because when he did Individual Thought Patterns, and you had Andy LaRocque in there, you already knew where he was going. It was like, oh, okay, that's it. It's a wrap. There's no, you're not going to get what we had. This is what it's going to be now. And he said it. So it's like, okay, either you like it or you don't. Yeah, you didn't like it, Tone, so fine. So I thought it was good. The last few albums he did after that, I thought were okay. And I mean, I wasn't too much of a fan of the last album they did, which was the Sound of
Perseverance.
Oh yeah, Perseverance.
Yeah, I wasn't really that's well. Unfortunately, I think that's when he was already in his last era where his voice really got more.
Well, he wasn't supposed to do that record. He was like forced to do that record by the label. He had like one more record in his contract, and they threw that out.
Yeah, it didn't really sound. I mean, the even with the music itself, it wasn't really that great. So that was that. But anyway.
But that happened too with the thrash bands. That's what happened with them. They went away from the elements that made them big, like Megadeth and all of them, and they started catering to that more mellow sound to get fans. You know, to get newer fans. It's okay getting newer fans, but once you eliminate your bread and butter fans, your band should change the name. Shouldn't even be called what you were in the beginning.
Yep, I agree.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right, I'm next, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
You're doing that.
All right. So we're gonna go over here to the country of suicidal grind, which is Sweden. We're going to Sweden. All right.
I already know.
Left Hand Path and Clandestine. I mean, these are like 1 and 2 great fucking albums. I mean, even though there was an EP before Clandestine, right? Right, Tone? If I remember, there was
the fuck was it?
The Crawl.
Crawl. Yeah, Crawl.
I mean, you know, we don't count EPs as albums. So anyway,
no.
That's
full length albums. That's what we're doing.
Yeah. So you know, just I mean, of course, you know, me, Tone, and Rich, we got engulfed with Swedish death metal. Whereas anything that was coming out of Sweden, we were just grabbing, picking up. You know, Unleashed, Entombed, Dismember, anything that was coming out of Sweden, we was like, yeah, man, that's the shit. and Entomb ended up progressing more into like what they called it a death and roll, that death and roll style they did, and like Wolverine Blues. I like Wolverine Blues.
No, I think that's the last good album I kept.
Yeah.
And then there was something that when LG came back, that was it Star or something? I forgot what the fuck.
No, was it? Oh, wasn't it? That was when he came.
Morning Star, something like that. Was
Morning
the name
Star.
of
I think you're right, Tone. Yeah.
Yeah. It went back to the elements of death metal. It wasn't, in tune of what we grew up with, but it was okay.
But you know what? They had already lost me at that point. Like I was a big Entomb fan in the beginning, and then when they kind of when they did To Ride, Shoot Straight, and Speak the Truth, or whatever that record is, that really lost me. And
Yeah.
I never got back on the Entomb train after that.
Yeah, I think who else did something similar where they kind of went off and then they went back? Didn't Grave do that? Didn't Grave throw like one stinker in the middle?
They did. Hating Life, right?
Yeah, yeah. That was a bad fuck. I remember buying it. I was so happy, like and then I'm like, what the fuck is this? I was like, it was like you feel like somebody put a gun to their heads literally to make that album. Terrible. Oh my god, man. Fucking guys. Oh man. But yeah, man. But as far as it goes, I mean, Sweden. I mean, they're putting out other good stuff now. They got a nice black metal scene out there in Sweden now, and got some good grindcore bands out there. So it's good to see that Sweden is getting back on the map.
Yeah, and Unleash winded up going after a couple of albums. They went to that kind of Viking sound and stuff too. That left from the death metal scene.
Yeah,
there were a couple of death metal bands that took a different turn.
Yeah, I mean, he changed up his vocals. Don't really sound as deathy as they are, and they're kind of like that more of a. They want to have like the epic sound, They want to have, battles and Vikings and Thor and beards and that good shit. Oh man! All right, Ed, what you got?
You want to do another round?
Yes, sir.
Our last round, right?
No, two more. We got two more.
All right, I'm going to stick to Sweden, but not like your traditional Swedish death metal band. Like when you think of this band, you think of like the Entombs and Dismembers and the Unleashed. To me, these guys were a little bit different. That's Hypocrisy.
Oh yeah.
They had a different sound than the other bands did from Sweden.
Yep.
And these first two Hypocrisy records, Penetralia and Osculum Obscenum, they're evil as fuck. They have all satanic lyrics, which I really like. I would much rather hear songs about Satan than aliens, but that's just me. But these are two perfect records, in my opinion. So
they are.
I don't know what you guys think about the first two Hypocrisies.
I love
it. Was 92. Osculum was 93.
I love that band. That band, I think, is one of the most underrated on Swedish metal bands out there. They should have been as big as Entomb in them.
I agree.
Even with the alien shit was still good shit. Do you ever that one of my favorite songs, "Fire in the Sky," that had to do with the
great song?
Yeah, that was a great album too. That whole album.
Yep.
I like that album because they went fast. Then they had a melodic song, fast like that. It kept a good pace. That album.
You know what sets Hypocrisy apart is Peter's songwriting. He writes good songs. Like the guy just has a gift. Like he really does. He's amazing.
Yeah, fucking Hypocrisy, man. Oh man, it's good. It's good because you go back to those. Some people might see those. Oh shit, like you forget about those albums sometimes. And just they get lost in the wind.
Yep.
Great fucking albums, man. All right, Tom.
All right, now we're going to our little state of New York here. With a band that we mentioned a couple of times, but we didn't really say the two albums, Eaten Back to Life and Butchered at Birth.
Nice.
These are my two favorite albums from Cannibal Corpse. Yeah, I remember seeing them live when I think that was their second show. Me, Bear, and my cousin went. Remember Bear? Was it Cat House? What was it?
The
Cat Club. Yeah, we saw them there live. And we took some pictures, and they were cool and all that.
I still got my autograph where I got the band photo. He put Rock, Chris Barnes.
Yeah, and stuff. And that was him as a vocalist. I thought he's the best vocalist that band had and stuff. And
yeah, that the debate with his with the vocals, the vocal thing. I don't know. I'm still one of those purists of the original Chris Barnes sound. I just felt like his vocal style at the time, not now, not that shit he's doing now, but at the time, it gave Cannibal Corpse their personality of what the lyrics were, the imagery, all that. He gave it that sound, and it was a shame, man. That was just Then when they fucking what was it the petty shit with the logo that he wanted to get paid for the logos, and they said, "Fuck, take your logo, we'll do something else." To be honest, the original logo is the best. I still say the original logo is the best logo. So,
and I love Butchered at Birth. I think for me, that's one of those genre-defining records, Butchered at Birth. Mm-hmm. And if you look at the Barnes era of Cannibal Corpse, that's his most brutal performance on a record, is Butchered at Birth. I mean, his vocals on that are so fucking guttural compared to the other three. And it adds just like this dimension to that record. And along with the production is very dark. The cover art is amazing.
Yeah.
Like to me, that's like a genre-defining record. I love it to death.
Yeah, it's just that's what I'm saying. You see, like, you look at those covers, right? Those first, and then you hearing his vocals. You could see those covers come to life. You know, in your mind, you could just see everything that they're talking about, and it gives you that great imagination, man. And
you really can't understand one line of that record or what the fuck he's saying without reading along with the lyrics.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But once you know, you know. So.
Oh man. And if you remember back, Tone remembers. I don't know if you remember the magazine Metal Maniacs.
Yeah, it was my go-to.
Okay, so you remember the fucking war that he used to have with Chris Barnes? They used to like always go, and the whoever, I forgot the guy in there. He just had it out for Cannibal Corpse, called the biggest cheese man of all.
I know who you're talking about. I forget his name.
He finally did like this one interview, and I think it had to do when Tommy the Mutilator came out. And the guy was like, "Yes, I know you guys all imagining that Chris Barnes is going to be right over me, with a knife to my neck and this, that, and the other." I remember that. That was bugged out. That's when they had no choice because Cannibal Corpse started getting to their peak of popularity, so they had to talk about them.
Right.
I think they weren't really talking about them. Like, they just called them a cheese band. That was it.
Yeah.
Oh well. A lot of people try to say the only reason they became they consider them to be the biggest death metal band was because of the movie.
Oh, Ace Ventura?
Yeah, that's what they say. But the band was good.
It was two things. It was, I think the Ace Ventura did give them a push because there was
that's nationwide. You watch it.
It gave them a push. But the second one was when they were already trying to do the second thing with what was it? When they're trying to censor shit, they mentioned Cannibal Corpse name a ton in the list of bands.
Oh yeah, the what's her name? The idiot that ran for president too.
Al Gore's wife.
Yeah.
Tipper Gore.
Tipper Gore, yeah.
Yeah. They they were still doing that even into the 90s. And Cannibal Corpse's name kept on popping up, they mentioned Cannibal Corpse tons of times. So that was another thing. So us, kids, they hear, ooh, they said Cannibal Corpse, they don't want to.
And you show the pictures.
That's the first thing they do.
Cover.
Oh yeah, the covers.
You see the cover, that people are gonna run and buy it.
Yeah. So now you gave them a reason to get it. So that was the best. They said that's the best advertisement they ever had.
They said it helped Twisted Sister because he kept on bringing them up like crazy, and then the band got back together. Because people wanted to see them.
Oh man, I'm next, right?
Yeah.
Okay. To me, now we were just discussing about technical bands who progressed and became very technical, and this is another band that I say, but for these two albums back to back, technical, still brutal, and heavy as fuck lyrically and everything. And that's going to be, first one was Vital Remains Dechristianize, right? And then Icons of Evil. Okay. Right? So now the thing is, when you hear this, you already know the main guy in here was Dave Suzuki. He was the one who did the lead guitars. He did the drumming, played the bass, so he basically wrote a lot of the music on here. That's why everything's very high technical, but it still sounds fucking good. It got epic, brutal. Glenn Benton doing the vocals on it. I mean, you just have everything, and I gotta represent back here, man. That's right, man. Damn. I destroy Jesus, baby. Yeah. Telling you, so that's my thing with the. I mean, I remember when the Christianized first came out, it was like the big thing, because we all thought that Glenn Benton wasn't gonna do Deicide no more. That's when the Hoffman Brothers things was going on, and they were like, "Oh shit, he's gonna leave Deicide. He ain't gonna do Deicide no more." And then this came out, and it was like everybody was very satisfied with these two albums with Glenn Benton's vocals on it. He did. I think to me, he had more vocal range on these albums than he did in his regular. That's just me as far as the range goes, because he was able to do a lot more shit in here, because I'm sure they had a certain way they wanted him to sing, and he did it because it's not his band, so he's pretty much gonna do what they asked.
I feel like he was a little bit more brutal in Vital Remains than he was in Deicide with those two records, Barry.
I agree. That's why I say that he had more range. Like he was able to bring out more stuff to the music, and I know Suzuki, when he was doing all that stuff, he probably told, "Yeah, Glenn, we want you to do it like this," and he did it. You know, you told him what you want.
Here's a question for both of you guys: what the fuck is going on with Vital Remains right now? Are we ever going to get new music or what?
No, I don't know. No, I don't think so.
Nope.
I think I heard the last thing I heard, I think one of the members is having medical issues. I think that's what it is. But you know, it's funny because the Icons of Evil was the last album, and they were talking about a new album every other year after that album came out. And you know, we're already 15 years in, so. And you know, since they talked about it, and so it's good to they've been touring. I know they had toured for a while. They were still doing shows, but as far as making music, I don't know. I mean,
that's a bummer, man. It really is.
I still felt. I mean, maybe that was another thing. You know, like Dave Suzuki, when he left the band, maybe that was something that was in the mix of it. You know, who knows? You know, nobody really is really talking about that. You know, with that, I was hoping to get more, some new music, but it is what it is. But I got to see them live. Twice. But this was, post Dave Suzuki. They were touring. They were touring for Icons of Evil, and that's when Suzuki had pretty much already stopped. And I think he did the European tour with them. Then when he came back to the States, I think that's when he left the band. But they sound great live, and they were always doing their thing, man. It's a shame. Hopefully we'll hear something. I'll do some digging.
I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, I'll do some digging. All right, Ed.
Ed, next.
All right, I'm going to go to, what do I got here? We talked about this before the video, Barry. I'm going to go to the Netherlands. God Dethroned.
Yeah.
Death Metal Masters. We've got the Grand Grimoire from 1997, and my favorite, which is Bloody Blasphemy from 1999. These two records are gold for me. You know what? Most of their discography is gold for me. God Dethroned. I know you guys are big fans too, and they just put out that new record, the Judas Paradox, really good. Man, they just kill it, album after album. But these two in a row are probably my favorite.
Because they stay consistent to their sound.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what it is. You see what I'm saying?
You got Henry Sadler, the main man, who is kind of like the Peter Tagrin of, God Dethroned. He kind of writes the music, but amazing guy, amazing songwriter again. So.
Yeah, Grand Grimoire has always been it for me. I mean, I love the fact that there's a lot of references in that album. The Grand Grimoire was from the Warlock movie. I don't know if you guys seen Warlock.
Yeah.
That's where the song is about. It's basically based off the movie Warlock. And they did what was the song where they did oh crap. The one where it was basically from Prophecy. They did the one about the angels fighting in heaven. Shoot. I can't get the name right. You got the album there, damn. You gotta mess me up, man. I'm old. Because I know Under a Silver Moon was about the real pregnancy of Mary, which was always my theory.
I don't know, Barry. I don't know which one it is.
What's run me the titles after Under a Silver Moon?
Under a Silver Moon, The Somberness of Winter, Into a Dark Millennium, Coliseum
Into a Dark
Serenade.
Millennium is Into a
Okay.
Dark Millennium. Yeah,
Okay.
that's it. That song itself is basically the prophecy, the one from Christopher Walken. That whole song, which is awesome. And I remember I think I've mentioned this before that I did. We were doing our old fanzine, and back when you used to do the fanzines in the '90s, you had to send out the questions handwritten, send it through the mail, and then they would send you the answers back. And I did an interview with the singer from God Dethroned. He mailed me back, but at that point, I'm trying to see if I can find it, man. But we didn't even get a chance to do the second issue. It was for our second issue, but it was a great interview with him. And I asked him those questions, and he said, "Yeah, man, I love those fucking movies, man. I'm telling you, as this, that." He says he loves bringing up those little references and stuff like that. It's just great lyrics, man.
Yeah. I only got to see him once, man. They opened up for fucking Overkill at in Times Square. I think it was at the PlayStation Theater or the Nokia, whatever the hell it was at the time. But,
Nokia.
Nokia, yeah.
Yeah, then they went to whatever the hell it's now called.
Yeah, who knows? But the only time I ever saw them.
Yeah, they're great. They're a great fucking band. One of those bands that they're very underrated. I still say they're a very underrated band.
Yeah.
They deserve, I think, a little bit more than what they've been getting. But they stay, all these years they've been playing, they stay to their sound, they stay consistent, they stay true to their fans. And that's all you ever want from like that.
100%.
But they do deserve a little bit more. I think they do. All right, Tone, what you have, man?
All right, so I'm gonna go into some metal now, some original metal. Got here Wasp.
Nice.
His children and what you call and the Crimson Idol.
Nice.
These two albums, well, Headless Children is my all-time favorite Wasp album.
Me too.
And then when Blackie went solo, because he really went solo on the Crimson Idol, was another one. Excellent songs and stuff from both of them. But the guitar work from Chris Holmes in what you call in Headless Children, killer album, man, killer album. But I don't know if you know this. I think I told Bear this. I don't know if you know it. And you know that song Thunderhead? Yeah. You know that he was so fucked up in the studio, Holmes, that he was passed out. That originally who did the guitar solo in that was Lita Ford.
No shit, really?
Yeah. They never credited her on it because she was married at the time to him and stuff. But they said that was her ripping on that song. And that song is
I love
amazing
song too. No, you never told. Wow, Tone, that's some good shit.
Yeah, I thought I told you that shit.
Man, that's my favorite song from that album too. I love Thunderhead.
Yeah, she kills it. I didn't even know that shit. I was like, yeah, Holmes, this and that. And then when I found out it was her, I was like, wow.
Look at that shit.
Well, she was gifted guitar-wise. She was a gifted guitarist. It's just that, she chose a different path to go with music and stuff.
Imagine her doing black metal.
Yeah, right? At least a heavy riff band like Wasp style and stuff. But Ed, you're a big Wasp fan. Did you ever hear that album? I think it's FDR, something like that.
I don't like it. I don't love it, man.
You don't like that album?
I don't. I know a lot of people do. Like, I have a tough time getting into that one.
Oh, that's why I wanted to ask your opinion, because I thought it was a very underrated album from them.
I always ask people about Wasp. They always bring that record up, and I just, it's something that I got to spend more time on. But like when I listen to it, it's tough for me to get into that one. But and I stick to all the old stuff up to the Crimson Idol. Pretty much is the Wasp that I like.
Oh, so you haven't heard nothing past that?
I have, yeah, I've heard that stuff, but it doesn't do much for me compared to the old stuff.
Yeah. I'm pretty much in that same boat too. Yeah. It's just one of the things that they had that attitude and stuff that Blackie Lawless portrayed in the earlier stuff, and the way it came out in the music. It just seemed like like you could tell that they were just kind of like trimming it down a little, But yeah, it is what it is.
But we all can agree they were never a glam band.
No way.
That's why
hell no.
Put them into that.
Who the fuck calls them up a glam band?
You should see a lot of people call us. I bet you will get comments on the bottom and say, "Oh, they put up a glam band." Why? Guaranteed, gonna be one comment in the bottom.
Yeah, well, then I'll just say it's because they're Islander fans.
Bro, you didn't get the memo. You were supposed to dress up, you know? Nice.
Nah. That's all right, man. I'm good. All right, now look, it's enough that I'm trying to get through sports teams here. We went through our shit with the Mets. Fucking Giants are suck ass. I'm okay now with the Knicks. They're okay to watch, and the Rangers are. I want to at least stick with that for now. Somewhat decent.
What are you talking about? New York got a good football team. Buffalo won today.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
talk
about those New Jersey teams.
They're the true New York team, man. You can't deny it. I can't even deny it. Yep, they're the true New York team. I still don't get the whole point of why these people went to fucking Jersey. I still don't get it. But anyway.
Well, all right.
All right. So here goes. Here's my last pick. All right. King Diamond's Death and Conspiracy. If anything, this was, I guess, the one I had to save the best for last because these two albums actually do go together. It's one complete. If you make it one complete album, it'd be this. But when you got this, it's just the best 1-2 punch that King Diamond threw out there. As far, he had albums that are great that I could say, but
Abigail,
you always get Abigail. I even like some of that. I like
The Eye
ones he did.
Shit, you read my mind. The Eye, yeah,
The Eye is amazing.
And so it's like you got a few there, but this 1-2, this was King Diamond. This was King Diamond. So,
but that's what when those came out, we all were in it. Me, my cousin, Bear. We got that damn album. Yo, that's the only album I've ever heard that scares me. Yeah, for real. The way he portrayed every character, gave him a different voice, and the way he tells the story of grandma and all that shit. That shit is a masterpiece right there.
It is, and
it's.
I'm still wondering why. You see, we talked about metal people doing movies. Why didn't they get? I would love to see.
Yes,
that. I would
love a movie.
That's definitely that could be a script for a movie straight through, and it would be something worth watching.
Yeah. But Glenn Danzig can't direct it. No, sorry.
Yeah, man. I know they did the comic. I told you guys they did the comic book for Abigail, that the graphic novel.
Yeah.
And which again was the reason why he did Abigail 2, which I didn't understand why he did that. That was one of the ones I wasn't too happy with, Abigail 2. But
it's like Queensryche doing Operation Mindcrime 2. I don't know why the hell that ever happened.
No, they're gonna do a 3.
Really?
What?
Yeah, I forgot what one of the YouTube rock channels that talked about it. They're gonna do a fucking Operation Mindcrime 3.
Oh, these guys gotta stop, man. That's all they doing, man.
No, 2 was garbage, man. Oh my god, it was so bad. It's like, no, what? Oh well. Anyway, they want to try to get their movie.
Messed up the whole night. All right.
Oh, man, but that's my last pick. You got something else, Ed, that you want to throw out there?
Let's just throw out some honorable mentions.
All right, throw out honorable mentions. Go ahead.
Here's a good one, Barry. How about Savatage, Hall of the Mountain King, and Gutter Ballet?
Oh, yeah, nice. Fucking
those two are especially Gutter Ballet.
Essential records right there.
Brilliance.
Yeah.
And what Savatage brought to the table was kind of this neoclassical kind of feel that no other band to me was doing or had done. Mm-hmm. They're brilliant records, both of these. They just
absolutely
take it to another place.
Unholy.
Yeah. Nice. All right, you got that. You can take out another one, Ed. Man, go ahead.
You go, Tone.
Right,
okay. Hey, let's have some fun here.
Oh, yes. That's a very yes. Love Hello.
And their second album,
Dogs of
the Universe.
Yep. Yeah, I even think America Must Be Destroyed. I thought those first 3 records were awesome.
I love those.
Yeah, I thought those first 3 were fucking awesome, man. Ah, man, rest in peace, Odorous.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, man. I haven't even bothered hearing any of the new stuff. I mean, is
It's fair at best, you know.
Is this fair?
It's definitely missing something without Dave Brockie.
Yeah.
To me, but
and you won't add it to. You can listen to it, but you won't add it to your collection. You won't put it in. Spend money on that.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. Well, look, I didn't pull these out. I'm just going to mention them by name. I had Alice in Chains for Facelift and Dirt. I thought those were two
really good,
fabulous.
Sorry, okay, Bear.
I love those fucking albums. I think they're great albums. Bruce Dickinson when he did Accident of Birth and Chemical Wedding. Those are to me the his top two fucking albums. Those are great albums. And then of course, we got my man Ed already went and they got the throne for me, so he showed it to you. So there you go.
There you go.
All right. Oh man, yo, this has been fucking great, man. Yeah, yo, Ed. I was gonna ask you, when do you think that we're gonna get any more? I know you've been doing like a lot of your updates, but when do you think you're gonna have like an official date set up for when you're gonna start doing like I know you said you're trying to get something set up, but when do you think you'll have something
for like a physical store?
Yeah.
As soon as it's inked, I'm gonna do a video on it.
Okay.
There's a lot that's gonna have to go into it because we got to find the right space at the right price. Then we have to set it up. Like I want to make sure I have, counters and displays and all that stuff that you need to buy when you have a physical store. And I want to do it the right way. Like I don't want people to walk in the store and say, "Oh, there's fucking nothing in here," and then never come back. I want people to walk in and say, "Holy shit, look at all the cool stuff in this store." I want to do it the right way.
Hey, real quick, I'm not to cut you off, Bear. If you're gonna do a physical store and you see a store you're gonna get your lease and all that and thing. I don't know if Bear told you and stuff, but I'm an electrician. So if you need anything done in the store and stuff, no charge. Just get the material. I'll go up there and give you a hand with that.
Awesome, man. I appreciate that.
If you need anything change, you gotta check anything or anything you feel that needs a
killer, man. Thank you.
Call me a professional. They want that.
I mean, he's not going to charge you, but that Gold Medal show would require that obituary of death LP. Just throw that into the bill.
There, you missed the point. That's why I'm going up there. That gets me into the room and start looking around.
But you know what, Tone? You know what Tone could do? Can help you do? He could go and in your store, you're going to have a little corner called Ed's Room. And have like a replica version of your room over there so people can take pictures.
Yeah, right.
So they can be like, I'm in the woods of PA, just have it set up right there. Have a little section right over there so people can take pictures, man. There you go.
There's so much stuff we could do. Like we could do in stores. We could have bands come in and do signings, and we could do YouTube videos from the store. Like there's so much that you could do. Yeah, we're just scratching the surface.
Physical media, people are gonna love you because physical media is the best. Digital garbage.
We could do a YouTube community thing where all the YouTubers come out to the store and we're gonna have a fucking shindig get together and put that out. Like there's so much we could do.
Look, I already know. I know. Was it Trevor is already like he's like down to right away. He's gonna come. So he's like, yo, the man, I'm going out. I'm coming out. I was okay.
I tell you what, I'm excited for those guys with their Fomarian Records project. Yes. I think that's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, that's gonna be really, really cool.
Yeah.
Trevor already he wanted me to help him do to help him with print some of the merch.
They're literally building it from the ground up, and just you gotta respect that.
Yep, there you go. And we got Ed. Gonna be another store to go and help out, push the label out.
Yeah, I will help him any way I can. I told those guys any way I can help you, just reach out and let me know. So.
All right, man. So yeah, that's that. Look, Ed, man. Thanks a lot, man.
Thanks for having me on, man. Fun hanging with you guys always.
And hope we get a chance to do this again. Hopefully with Rich there, so we can have Rich up into the mix. I'm sure Rich probably had a lot of stuff he wanted to tell you too, but we'll get another one going soon.
Yeah, all good.
All right, Tony, you got anything else for him?
No, I just want to say it was a pleasure finally meeting you.
Yeah, man.
A real Islander fan, so we could talk and stuff. Things will get better, don't worry.
And I appreciate you guys, man, ordering shit from the site. Like, I can't thank you guys enough for supporting the Realms of Rock site.
I appreciate you having media, physical media. That's all I think. I'll always be supporting physical media.
Now, do you just from your point of view, do you buy more vinyl or CDs, Tone?
More vinyl. My thing is vinyl first. If I'm real into the band, vinyl first. If I can't find the vinyl, then I tend to go to CD. Lately, I've been like, I don't know, for some reason I kind of like in the cassette. I'm getting back into it.
Yeah.
It's easier to throw in and walk around with it than the thing. But that's the way I always like. I always like having the vinyl to see the picture. I like the big booklets if it comes and all that
And
stuff.
so you guys, vinyl outsells everything on the site like 10-1. Like everybody seems to want vinyl. So that's really what I know it's more expensive, but that's really kind of what I focus on is getting the vinyls in there. So.
Well, I mean, if it's basically now since if you're getting back into physical media, well, outside of CDs, you just it's more like we'll say cassettes and vinyls. Those are the ones that are like more of like a collector's style of media. Yeah. So you're thinking of more in the headspace, like now since I got hooked onto vinyls, it became more of a collector's aspect of collecting it. Like, look, I'll show you guys this real quick. I told Rich about this. I know I went over with my wife. What was it? Yesterday we stopped by a thrift. So every time I go into a thrift with her, I always go look through the physical media, see what I can find. And I found some freaking hip hop records that I was like, oh shit. I said, and I got them for $1. And you guys are into old school hip hop. So look, I found this fucking KRS-One.
Oh, I love a KRS-One.
Great. Yeah, KRS-One is great.
Found this. I found me some Cypress Hill. These are all singles, right? How I Could Just Kill a Man. And this one, Hand on a Pump.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, being from the Bronx, we still had to give a little credit to Freestyle. And I found me a Judy Torres single.
Whoa. Oh, yeah. Good start.
Yeah. So now what happened was that when I was in there, I was talking with one of the guys and I asked him because there was a lot of them said there was people there digging through them. And I said there was a DJ, I guess must have had a collection, because all I know is I picked up a couple of those things. There was a guy who had a fucking shopping cart filled up with all the vinyls that were off in those crates. So, and then I started looking up the value of some of them just for shits and giggles. The Cypress Hill, I checked it, it's going for at least $30.
No shit.
Yeah, and so I got it for $1.
I'll buy that for $1.
There you go. Got it for $1, man. So,
I just watched that movie the other night.
Yeah.
Man.
You know what part kills me? Was it on the one of the grave records where he goes, "Bitches leave"? You remember that part? Somebody used it as a sound clip on one of their records.
Yeah.
It was grave.
Yeah, he went and killed this guy in the fucking. Oh man, that was such a great fucking movie, man. Yeah. Oh my god. But yeah, man, that as I say, when it comes to that aspect of it, now it becomes more of a collection thing.
Yeah.
I love metal, but if I see something nostalgic, I'll pick it up.
I do, and I'm a closet hip hop fan too. I like Public Enemy and Cypress Hill and all that shit. I like Big E. I like
that. That's when hip hop was hip hop.
Yeah.
Or that it is today.
I'm still a big mixtape collector. I have tons of mixtapes from the 90s, all that whole what I consider hip hop's golden era of hip hop and stuff. But yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah, man. So yeah, always give it a chance, man. You never know.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Well, look, I want to thank Ed again for coming on to the channel and having a good time with us, man. It was great to have you, man.
Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Looking forward to the next one. All right, and make sure you guys go on Ed's, the Realms of Rocks store and buy some vinyls, buy some CDs, buy shirts, buy everything up in
everything. Yes, it's good stuff.
Everything. Just get everything. All right,
and I'll hook you up. I'll throw some free shit in your order.
There you go. Maybe there'll be a picture of me in there like this. All right, guys. This is Barry and Tone, that Goat Metal Show. Stay brutal.